Many think ghost stories are just tales spun to thrill or frighten, but sometimes reality can be far more chilling than fiction. This is a true story, as told by someone who experienced a night they'd never forget in Pine Grove Forest. Alex and their group of online friends had been talking for months about camping out in the woods to meet face to face for the first time. Pine Grove, known for its towering pines and a few whispers of paranormal sightings, seemed the perfect blend of adventure and thrill. The first few hours were perfect. Guitar playing, laughter, stories under the blanket of stars. But as the moon rose higher, casting long, eerie shadows, the wind picked up, sending a rustle through the trees. Chloe, one of the friends, stopped mid-sentence. "Do you guys hear that?" she said, her voice taut. Silence fell. The faint sound of a woman humming drifted on the breeze, soft but unmistakable. Alex chuckled nervously. "It's probably the wind playing tricks on us." But then they all heard it again, this time clearer and closer. A shiver ran down their spines. One by one, flashlights clicked on, beams slicing through the dark. James, the oldest of the group, pointed toward the edge of the clearing where the woods thickened. A figure stood there, barely visible, a woman with long dark hair, her pale face half obscured. For a heartbeat no one moved, expecting her to fade like a trick of the light. But she didn't. Instead, her head tilted ever so slightly, eyes locking onto them. Chloe gasped, breaking the trance. The figure vanished, leaving behind only the silence, heavy and suffocating. Panic set in as everyone spoke at once, their voices a mix of fear and confusion. That's when Alex noticed something. Where the figure had stood, the ground was wet, as if someone had trailed water into their camp. Suddenly the humming resumed, louder and more haunting. Chloe, pale as a sheet, whispered, "We need to leave, now." The others nodded, hastily gathering their things when the air turned cold, biting their skin. The campfire flickered and died, leaving them shrouded in darkness. James shone his flashlight around, and for a moment it caught a set of footprints. They trailed around their camp but led to nowhere, fading into the shadows as if swallowed by the night. A loud crack pierced the silence, a tree branch snapping behind them. Everyone spun around and Alex's heart froze. There she was again, standing between two trees, her eyes glistening with something unnatural. The humming grew louder until it became a shriek, echoing in their ears. Flashlights dropped, breath hitched, and in a flurry of motion they ran, heedless of the direction. They didn't stop until they reached their cars, lungs burning, hearts racing. As they drove away, Alex glanced back at the forest, now dark and silent. But at the edge of the trees, barely visible in the rearview mirror, stood the figure, watching. To this day, Alex and their friends refuse to speak of that night at Pine Grove, except to say that they were not alone. And those who dare to visit after dark, they are warned to listen carefully, for a soft humming that means she's near.